All right. All right. We're going to do this quick because it's an emergency. Of course, Supergiant Games had to choose to announce the sequel to Hades while I'm on vacation, out of state, out of touch, barely got a phone working, no laptop, ain't got shit out there, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do a thing. I was scram-diddly-ammed, you know what I mean? I got off the plane 2 hours ago. My ears have not fully popped. It's presently 50 degrees in my basement because it's fucking cold as shit. Oh, God. But we gotta do this shit, baby. Let's check out the Hades 2 trailer. I can't believe that it's coming. I can't believe it's happening. I also lost a bet, essentially, that maybe we'll discuss at the end. Hades 2, I guess it's here. First boss? You think first boss?
Good. Not good enough. We can but learn.
Yo.
And the greatest teacher is out there.
Zag sis?
Now go. Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos.
This is an opportunity for you to make a better future for us all. The least I can do is light your way down.
Oh, that looks important. That looks important. We'll go back.
No, I was born for this.
You trifle with powers far beyond your comprehension, witch.
Okay, if I call you witch like that?
Pet the frog. No more petting Cerberus, though.
Vengeance for your family awaits you.
He is no mere titan. He is time itself, and time
Dad?
cannot be stopped.
Wait for me, Father. I'll be there soon.
I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. I lost a bet. You know what I said? If they made a sequel to that fucking game, I said I'd dress as Aphrodite. What the fuck is this? Get off the piano, Dad. Well, I think we analyzed a few things. Now, I'm not a major in Greek philosophy. In fact, I don't know shit about the Greek mythology, to be honest. I don't know anything about it. So if you want me to explain who Melanway, I'm not certain how you even say it. If you want me to explain who that is, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hecate, I think I've heard, is the mentor there, it would assume. So Melano's being trained by Hecate to build up to defeat Kronos, it would appear. I don't know what their relation is. So you're gonna have a similar sort of, you know, like joking mentory relationship that we had with Hades, I guess, in that aspect. Would Hecate be the last boss? I don't know. Zag has no appearance right now. We know very little when it comes to that, basically, right? I'm gonna throw out wild predictions and theories right now. Zag final boss. Boom. I'm gonna say Hecate's for like first boss. Zag final boss. Guaranteed. So this is important, I think, here. So I think Melano's gonna play very differently. Very differently. Because they could have just done Zag again and we'd probably all still be happy, you know what I mean? They probably could have just done Zag again, but that's not Supergiant Games, you know what I mean? They reinvent the wheel for every goddamn game they make, even if it's a sequel, probably. Now, it'll probably play similarly but it's gonna feel a lot different, I think, at the end of the day. It's gonna feel fresh, it's gonna feel brand new, you know what I mean? It's not, it'll still, you'll see a lot of similar systems and familiarity to it, but it'll still feel like it's a new game and not just, you know, a big DLC, I believe. So let's take a look. Nova Strike, your attacks deal more damage in a larger area. That's kind of interesting. Your attacks deal more damage in a larger area, because it's very general, isn't it? It's a very general thing. It's not like the average attack boon that we see now. You know what I mean? It's not like the average attack boon that we see right now, which empowers like a specific move. You know what I mean? Blinding Sprint. Your sprint is faster and inflicts daze on nearby enemies. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. So this is assumingly Apollo's boons, right? Daze is some kind of status effect. Your sprint is faster. Do you actually just sprint faster? I wonder. I'm not really sure, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure. Daze, yeah, I mean, this all kind of makes sense. But I think the most interesting one is clarifying, like, while standing in your cast, gradually restore magic. Okay, all right. That seems really important. I have a theory. But it's not 100%. You may have some kind of basic / auto attack you have to use to regain magic so that you can use special moves and things like that. That would make sense a little bit with Nova Strike as well, I think there. So maybe your attacks, it might mean like everything, it might just mean your auto attack. It should also be worth noting, these are almost 100% placeholders. This is not what this is going to look like when the game comes out. Probably not even close, honestly. Like, the text is really big and chunky and stuff. So this is probably going to look very different, and the wording's probably going to be very different too, I gotta say. Let's go back again. So it looks like Milano has a sickle sometimes. You see a staff come out. That's like a big move, it looks.
This is an opportunity.
Morose, Doom Incarnate. Could this... So here's the question. Are we even going to have the Olympian gods again? Do you think the Olympian gods will be back? Apollo was an Olympian god, right? Moros is more of a minor god. So I'm guessing we're going to get a brand new set of NPCs to talk with at the home zone. That's my guess. We're going to get a brand new set. Moros is just basically backwater Thanatos. So who gives a shit about them, really, when you think about it? You know what I'm saying? Them and their nipples and all that stuff. I'd imagine they'd keep the boon system for the most part. That's the question, really, for me, I gotta say.
For you to make a better future for us all.
The sprint, the dash looks very similar, does it not? The dash looks very similar. I think that's kind of important to look at there, is how the dash looks and feels. Although that first one almost felt like more like a backstab. And we get the boons. Assuming those are Apollo's boons, right?
Not ready to give in.
Nemesis Retribution Incarnate. A boss, maybe? It could be a boss, I gotta say. It could be a boss. They're holding the Nemesis sword, by the way. It should be noted, I gotta say. They could be a boss. They could be an NPC. You know what the best question is? What about Charon? What about Charon? Do you think we still get Charon?
No. I was born for this.
Alright, then you pet and kiss the frog? Interesting little thing to evolve in the trailer. So this might be a placeholder graphic, because in early access of Hades 1, they had a lot of placeholder graphics that looked a little bit like this in some ways. But this one, it kind of has emotion. I wonder what's going on there exactly. This one has a bit more emotion, and now it says Dora, Listless Shade. And assumingly they did those same two lines. I felt like that was a bit interesting. It's Pandora. Yeah, that kind of stuff I'm not familiar with. So Dora, the listless shade. So the voice is very different between those two lines.
Okay, if I call you wench like that?
Is that Courtney? Yo, is that Courtney? Yo, is that the Courts? I don't know. It's not. Okay. I don't think that's a boss that we just saw. Probably just a big enemy. There's a couple big boys with a big move. Attacking a tree. That looks like a summoner summoning a bunch of little fish to attack you. And then, okay, so why is Hades in bonds? I don't know the whole story behind what happens to Hades exactly here. What happened? Are we in the far future? Is it the recent future after the events with Zagreus? There's a lot of like weird theories out there. Like, what if it's a prequel? It's like they kind of said this is a direct sequel, so it could be like a little bit later on. You know what I mean? Hades got his ass whooped, and how, why, and where? Like who knows really when you think about it? You know what I mean? I guess we'll read from the actual blog, because the Discord actually has a little bit less. I'm not going to read through it word from word. Y'all are welcome to read it. And there's actually a little bit less on Discord, so I actually haven't read all of this right now. Then, so will it be a launch title? Yes, early access 2023 is all we know for Hades 2 right now. So here's my theory. Obviously, this is just a guess. I'm basing it on almost nothing, but I'm thinking we're gonna get early access Hades 2. It's going to be a much more further along game than Hades 1. Because Hades 1 was first launched in early access only about a year after Pyre, their previous game, had launched. Hades 2 was launching, gosh, how long has it been? Almost 2.5 years after. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be more like we might have all the biomes in, you might have the majority of the bosses, but maybe not all of the variety, basically, is what I'm thinking. You might be able to do a run front to end, essentially, but you might not have everything available. Maybe not all the weapons, all the aspects, if they're even going to have all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to guess early access might be a little bit less. Early access was almost 2 years in Hades 1. I can't really say how long. I'd still probably guess a year. You know what I mean? What platforms will be on? It'll be on everything when it comes out, no doubt. But early access, they're only going to have it on Steam and Epic. Yeah, there's a lot to take in the fact that this is our enemy, right? This is the antagonist, seemingly, of the game. And how this could actually relate to the gameplay. I think there's a lot. There's a lot really to consider that. It's interesting that they chose to actually change the protagonist. Agreed? It's actually it's not the safe thing to do, correct? It's kind of fascinating that they decided to change the playable character, unless we get a taste 2 playable characters. I'm a little doubtful though. Who is developing Hades 2? Supergiant Games. They, you know, this isn't a studio that's got 2 or 3 projects going at once with multiple teams or anything like that. It says we now have more than 20 people on our team, a few more than the original Hades, including all 7 of the original members of the team that created our first game, Bastion. You know, this is what they do. One quality game at a time. It gets released when it gets released. It's a full game. It's not an unfinished game. Fuck the haters, you know what I mean? So if you don't know the story, the history of, not that I know the full history of Supergiant Games. They came out with a game, their first game, Bastion. I think they had to get Warner Brothers as the publisher, who doesn't publish a lot of games, it seems, right? And Bastion did really well. Bastion did really well for them, to the point where it seemed like they really considered just simply making a sequel to Bastion to follow that up, but they decided not to in the long run. They made Transistor. Transistor did well. It did not do as well as Bastion, as far as I can tell. Not that I had the figures in front of me. They then made a game called Pyre, which seemed to perform even less in terms of sales. So Hades was sort of, you know, the miracle game for them that hit all the notes and hit the huge audience that they really needed potentially at that point in time. So we can sit here and say, like, you know, big money. You know, it's a cash in to make a sequel to Hades, right? The thing is, like, they could release a game based on Hello Kitty mythology and I'd play the shit out of it. So it's almost like it doesn't matter in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it doesn't even matter. And I would hope it wouldn't matter to the Hades fans either. The people that love Hades, I would hope that you should be a Supergiant Games fan. And you should play whatever the hell they put out for the rest of their existence already. Because I guarantee it's going to be good shit. You know what I mean? It's going to be the good shit. Here's a big one. Is it going to be a multiplayer game? No. I mean, we can sit here and speculate all day. Like, when, where, and how, and stuff like that. But we don't really know. Don't let people tell you how they think it's going to be. You know, no one actually knows shit. You know what I'm saying? Including me. Like, we can come up with our crazy theories and everything like that. I bet there will be a playable version of Hades 2 before the end of the first quarter of 2023. To wrap it up, I'm still in shock. I'm still in awe. I don't really know how to react to all this. It's like, I really didn't expect this. I'm over the moon. I'm happy. I'm pleased. I'm pleased for myself. I'm pleased for the studio. I'm pleased for the audience. I'm pleased for the fans, you know what I mean, that really wanted more. Monday, we'll be talking a lot more about it. I'll be playing little bits of Hades here and there, I think, also. What's up, YouTube? It's you, Giga Chat. Haelian. It's time for a react video.